We have a male gun violence problem, and if women monopolized crime in the same way that men do, they would not share the blame with us.
You know what? For once, I disagree, and you're not giving men enough credit here. We actually have a male violence problem in general across the board in every area in this country. And who does this directly impact and harm the most? As always, women and young girls. Before we dive into all the stats, as always, make sure you like, rage, comment, repost to get the word out and follow along for more. Until we start acknowledging that men are the problem in this country, actually addressing it and getting them help, these numbers are not going to get better. Yes, we could focus on firearms and mass you-know-whats, where the statistics usually report between 94 to 98% of these are done by men. Of that, mostly young men between the ages of 20 and 39, most of which consistently over 50% white men specifically. I'll throw it in there, by far it's worse in red states despite what they want you to think. At the end of the day, this isn't exclusive to firearms. Most violent crimes are done by men. And unfortunately, women are usually on the other end of things. For instance, 93% of all unaliving convictions were males. And whilst 91% of SA victims were women and 9% were males, still, of these, the perpetrators were 99% males. And to add horror on top of that, only 2% of these actual perpetrators are ever convicted or imprisoned. So don't tell me that allegations ruin men's lives. And they're not even being found guilty of it when they are. You might try and blame this on the male loneliness epidemic, but there's a loneliness epidemic affecting both parties, and only men slightly more. And these stats have actually always been high regardless of the year. And it is notable that only 17% of men are going to therapy, whilst compared to 28% of women, but good that these numbers are rising over the years. I found most interesting was the statistics behind men and women's support systems and personal relationships. You'll notice that women are still more likely to reach out to anyone across the board for emotional support, which was interesting, including fathers, because I thought that maybe men would have them beat in that category at least. Okay, knew they wouldn't, but I also found the topics they're more likely to be discussing with people interesting as well. Again, you can see men are almost never talking about their mental health with anybody, but they sure do love talking about sports. But I do think this is the most important area statistically, because it shouldn't be about quantity of friendship. We all know that it's more about quality. Until men step up and start addressing this, then we need to keep putting pressure on them and holding them accountable for all the other stats. Because we do have a very large male problem in the United States.